first half of the World Final grid is complete and a turn 1 shot gets the fans talking. Welcome to episode 10 of the Stock Car Show, and this might be the biggest and best one yet. We will start at the F2s though at Crimond, and for the first time we have a Scotland report thanks to David Davidson. Here's what he had to say about Crimond on Saturday. Crimond Raceway hosted the BriSCA F2 Scottish Championship for the first time since 2014 and were welcomed with 32 drivers. This was also a world qualifying round as drivers looked to get a few more points accumulated for the coming semi-finals at Taunton at the end of August. Heat 1 was won by English visitor 776 Dan Roots, while Heat 2 was dominated by ex-world champion 100 George McMillan Jr. Consolation was won by 50 Ethan Gemmell. I don't know how to say that, I do apologise. The Scottish Championship came around at 26 qualifiers battled out for the right to wear the Scottish wing for 12 months. Early stages of the race saw the yellows brought out for 16 Craig Wallace, who found himself meeting the tyre wall halfway down the back straight and coming to a complete stop. This yellow flag saw the field bunch up and 679 Kieran Howie took advantage of the yellow flag, finding himself leader until the later stages of the race, where he was caught and passed by newly crowned UK Open Championship winner 3 Liam Rennie, who would then lead till the end and crown himself Scottish Championship. The meeting was then rounded off with the Grand National, where 854 Robbie Dawson would take the win in the ex-Max Stoneman RCE. Thank you to David for that. I'm sure we'll get another Scotland report at some point this season. At the weekend, the drivers descended upon Bradford Odsall for the first World Semi-Final Speed weekend, and there's a fair few talking points to come from it. Starting with the winners, excluding the semi-final for later. Heat 1 on the Saturday was won by Tom Brown, number 44. Consolation won by Joe Booth in 446. The final was won by 55 Craig Finnegan, with Joe Booth in second and Frank Waymer Jr. in third. There's more to talk about from that final later on, as I'm sure you're aware, and the Grand National was won by 217 Lee Fairhurst. Awesome races to end the night on Saturday, with a few talking points going into the Sunday. Heat 1 was won by Tom Harris on the Sunday. Heat 2, Nigel de Kock took the flag, consolation by Casey Ingliston. The final saw Carl Hawkins take the win in another decent race, surviving a last bend attempt by Jolyon Maynard. Followed home by Lee Fairs in second and Jack France in third. The last race of the weekend was won by Jolyon Maynard. On to the main talking points of the weekend, starting with the first world semi-final. Tom Harris and Matt Newson led them to the flag, with Matt Newson getting the jump at the green flag and taking the lead. Tom Harris followed and a few laps later made his move to take the lead. Few battles happened behind, seeing Catherine Harris, Craig Finnegan and Sandbrake trade positions, with Sandbrake making the move for third. A wheel came off Michael Scrim's car, I believe, which brought out a caution for a 2-lap shootout for the final places. Tom Harris got a start and made a gap to take the flag, which sees him take his 6th consecutive front row start and going for world title number 6 from his 6th World Championship front row. But the biggest talking point about the race was Catherine Harris qualifying for the world final, then clipping Jake Hari, shooting across the track, hitting the infield barriers and taking lift off with one of the most spectacular rollovers I've seen in recent times. Thankfully she was okay and the team got the car fixed to make sure she was on track for the final, which was great to see. The biggest talking point though maybe of the year so far, with the amount of attraction it has gained on Facebook, YouTube and TikTok, the Joe Booth and Tom Harris incident. Joe wasn't happy with the move Tom made on him for second, so heading into turn 1 and 2, he kept his foot pinned, got the side rail and put Tom into the wall, not only stopping Tom of a potential chance to win the race, but also knock him outside of the top 10. I'm unbiased in this view, so my views on it is it was a proper stock car move. I don't really see why Joe didn't like the move Tom made on him, but that's stock cars. I'm sure Tom liked it too, as he's an advocate for proper stock car racing. Overall, a perfect stock car move and a thing for the fans to talk about. A small battle between Frank and Tom in the National 2, which was good to see, both drivers doing good shots. Frank got the best of Tom halfway in the race, putting him in the wall and spinning him around the main straight, but Tom recovered brilliantly to finish ahead of him. Sadly, we didn't get to see Harris v Booth in Sunday's final, as due to engine problems, Tom Harris loaded up. The first 10 world finalists are confirmed. The grid is on screen now. For now, they are all on the inside row, as we haven't had the coin toss yet. As you can see, the 10 world qualifiers are Tom Harris, Matt Newson, Sandbrake, Craig Finnegan, Lee Fairhurst, Ashley England, Danny Wayman, Jack France, Catherine Harris and Kyle Gray. On to this weekend then, 56 cars are booked in for Buxton, which I won't lie, surprised me. Proves tarmac racing isn't dead, thankfully. 2-day event at Buxton for the second World Semi-Final, where 10 drivers will join the World Final grid. Who will join Tom Harris on the front row of the World Final And on a Sunday, it's also the Jubilee Championship. I believe Catherine Harris is on pole for that, with Frankie Wayman on the outside. This is also the last weekend for drivers to score points to qualify for the shootout, so we will also know who has qualified for the chase for the silver roof after this weekend. My top 3 prediction then for this week's semi-final. Quite a tough prediction, but in the end it was kind of swayed by some shale drivers on tarmac and a mixed grid. In third, and joining Lee Ferris on row 4, I predict will be Finn Sargent. 1 position less than last year, but still a good place to start nonetheless. Second, and this could make things interesting in September, starting behind Tom Harris, I have Frankie Wayman Jr., the pole man for the semi-final, but you can probably see where this is going. My prediction to win semi-final 2 and join Tom Harris on the front row is 368 Callum Thornton, his first world final front row. He might be the strongest driver on tarmac this year, and this is a great opportunity for him. Just because I predicted Frankie behind Tom, I will also predict Tom wins the coin toss and chooses pole, just to make things interesting. Some of your predictions are on screen now. If you haven't predicted your top 3, leave them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this week's episode, please like and subscribe, and it really helps me out. And I'll see you on next week's Stock Car Show, where the world final grid will be complete.